Okay, other than the recording of the meeting for the purposes of people viewing it, are there any other recording devices present? No. Okay, so we'll call this meeting to order. This is an additional meeting for this month of June and with an abbreviated agenda. First on the agenda is approval of the minutes for the June 13th, 2022 meeting. Anybody have?
I will notice, Maureen, I'll, if I could, I just
Yes.
noticed that I think I had, I may have had Lizzie calling the meeting to order, and that should have been you. That was a mistake, carrying the minutes, the content forward from the previous month. So I will make that change.
Well, I thought it was just because I couldn't connect it first, but
No.
okay. All right, thank you. That edit being taken care of. Did anyone else have any comments or notes on the meeting?
To accept the meeting minutes as revised.
Or a second?
Second it.
And thank you, Trustee Ryan. Will second, and we'll take a vote. Trustee Ryan?
Aye.
Trustee Fitzgerald?
Aye.
Trustee Donahue?
Aye.
Trustee Macy Phelps?
Aye.
Trustee Persons?
I'm going to abstain since I was absent.
Okay, and the chair votes aye. Okay. Tonight, the next thing on our agenda is the approval or discussion and approval, possible approval of the strategic plan for the years 2023 to 2025, which will be being submitted in the fall. So anyone have points for discussion for tonight? Trustee Ryan?
I think it's really, I think they did an excellent job on it. It's really good and straightened out any little glicks. So I think it's great.
Okay. Anyone else?
I particularly
I
like
thought
that.
it was very comprehensive and thoughtful.
Thank
Okay.
you, Nancy.
Thank you, Trustee Donahue. Trustee Fitzgerald?
I agree, and I particularly like that it's focused on the continuing to be a library for the 21st century with a priority on enhancing and enriching the lives of our patrons.
Any other comments? One of the, go ahead, Miss Mary.
Yeah. Question. One thing that that perked me up, and I certainly agree with everything that's been said already. But Lizzie, the idea of Islington being focused on perhaps being a creative center or something like that. Is there? I realize that a lot of this will be filled. A lot of the blanks will be filled in as the plan is implemented. But I'm wondering if there was a timeline or whether there were any specific examples or anything associated with that just yet, or should we stay tuned?
I was like, stay tuned. But yeah, so how we're going to work out a lot of the details, because, when you look at it, you're like, oh, it's so exciting. And then you do start thinking, but what examples and more the concrete. And so we're going to, which I like the mentality of a roadmap. So part of our work this summer is making that roadmap and would answer a lot of the questions that I think came up after last meeting too, about, what to tackle first, based on, fundraising funds available, based on staffing. A lot of those things will help determine, how we flesh out each initiative. And so I think part of the Creativity Center would even maybe be more follow-up surveys to the community, with that specifically on in what way, since that was a dominant outcome of the survey, how would that look like, and would that look with more just programmings in terms of collections? So I think that short answer is stay tuned, but I think that we're already starting to try to explore how we can kind of tease out what the community means by that.
Thank you.
That I thought was an interesting piece myself, particularly from the point of view of when we were looking at Islington and its development and what it would be like. And I'm sure, Mary Beth, I think it was you and, a few of us went to visit. We were on a subcommittee. We went to visit some other places with the idea in mind of looking to see what other 21st century libraries were doing and having that a space for that creativity maker place, idea. So it was nice to see that in the plan. The other thing that I would note is that it really, the way the report flows shows the investment that the staff put into developing it. And you always get a nice result when people are invested. And so as you go forward, making a roadmap for the actions that you're going to take, I'm sure that, that will show that they've already have things in mind that they'd like to particularly do along these, to get these actions accomplished.
We have a very creative and talented team, and we've been doing our end of the year performance evaluations reviews. And I have to take various notes because at each one where we get one-on-one time with staff, we end up talking about, they're sharing ideas. And, you see like little passion projects, come out of these conversations just very naturally. So I'm excited to share the detailed initiatives with them. And so that way they can see how, their ideas can flow into these action items.
Awesome. That's great. Can I just follow up with a question? Because that was a lot of the discussion when we were on the Islington Task Force and about that space and all. But I don't think we ever have discussed since several meetings ago. There were some sharing space issues about, because you have to share
Lower
that
level.
the
Yeah.
lower level. So I don't know where we've gone with that and what reality we have based on that, and I don't know if we want to discuss any of that now, but I guess that's my only question as it pertains to that being our goal.
Right.
Because I felt like, unfortunately, even though that was really a goal that we were trying to pursue so hard, our wings were clipped a little bit initially in that area.
Well, I have some positive, definitely it's worth further discussion, but I have positive news that after assessing the reality of using of the use of that lower level, the town is going to move forward with making 3 rooms not out of the big room, but making it so that you could have simultaneous programs in a very large room. It's almost like a skating room. There was an in-between space that was kind of a part of it that very naturally should have been its own smaller meeting room. And then there was another conference room. And so with a few minor edits, it will be much easier to book simultaneous things, whether it's between departments. And I know that there's potentially even more space for recreation recreation is the dominant. They need to make sure they have certain space for certain weeks because they have such a set schedule. Right. And I know that another potential for the fall has opened up for them to use other space. So I think those two things together, that kind of feeling that we're like, how can we even, get in there to use it, will open up the availability and give us a little bit more flexibility with having more engaging programs in the larger space. Fantastic. So I'm very excited. Yeah.
That sounds great.
Thank you for the update.
So Lizzie, just to make sure I've got this correct for the minutes, that there might be space outside the library, outside the building.
Yes.
Outside. Yeah.
The actual Wentworth Hall.
In a different facility
yes,
for
recreation
facility. That might offload some of the demand.
Yes.
Okay.
That's great. Okay. Trustee Fitzgerald.
Yes, before we vote, and I'll be happy to make a motion to approve the strategic plan, I just want to say my thanks to Lizzie to cap off your first year as a library director. When we were going through the hiring process, you talked a lot about how important it would be to make this your top priority, and mission accomplished.
Thank you.
And I mean, to have to do this in your first year while you would learn, learning about. But first of all, congratulations on a great first year as our library director, and congratulations on really making this process not only running an excellent process, getting people involved, and coming up with a really solid product. You told us you would do that when we hired you, and you've been as good as your word. And secondly, as the person who had to ask Trustee, now Chairperson Van Au, and Trustee Macy Phelps to do the subcommittee, I want to thank you personally for really taking this on and helping to facilitate the process. And it's because of your work that we have this such a good product. And the trustees, we knew we could count on you as the subcommittee.
Yeah.
Once again, our faith was fully justified. And I also want to thank the citizens of Westwood who participated in the process, people who did the surveys, the focus groups, the town stakeholders, the town officials, Chris Coleman, everybody. It takes a village to make a strategic plan, and that's what we did here. And I'm happy to make a motion to approve the strategic plan, Madam Chairperson.
Thank you.
Second it.
Thank you. Did you get that, Mary?
Fitzgerald and Persons.
Yes.
I'm also, I really, really am so proud of you, Lizzie, and so grateful to you and Maureen and Mary. I mean, this is an outstanding product. I mean, we should be incredibly proud of this. It is not a just updated kind of a product. It is, and I think
Very
this is
unique.
going to be the standard for libraries in the Commonwealth.
Yeah.
I think you're going to get a lot of recognition for this. I think Connie better clear her calendar, because I think
I
she's
know.
going to get hired quite a bit. I think
I'm
this
already
is-
getting inquiries from other libraries too,
No,
you know,
I-
that share, you know,
I-
that have been going through this process.
I believe it. I believe it. But like, as Paul said, it took an amazing amount of phenomenal work from all of you. And I noticed that and I liked the way that she acknowledged everyone in it, or if whoever did that page.
Yeah, that was
And
Connie.
it was like, and I liked that a lot. And I love to see, I mean, like you mentioned at one earlier time, how the staff, they signed up for multiple,
Yeah, groups.
groups, and it was just really impressive. Really, really impressive.
That really says a lot. I
It
agree,
does.
Mary Beth.
It
Yeah.
does, yeah.
Mary,
Okay, can I just add, Mary Beth reminded me of something, which is to acknowledge Connie in the
Yes.
process.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mary.
Maureen and I, and, Maureen, certainly speak for yourself, but I think we found the process to be a delightful one, very, very productive and constructive. Having met several times with Lizzie and Connie over the course of the plan, we always found they were very much on top of it, really thinking creatively, and really kind of anticipating every question that we came up with, and really had a great constructive set of discussions. It was a pleasure, and I think we owe a lot to Lizzie as well as Connie. I did want to acknowledge Connie's contribution publicly.
I totally agree, Mary. Thank you for doing that, because it was a pleasure to work with you as well, as a team.
I was gonna say, you two were like my wing woman. I honestly, we started meeting, I think like last July or August. So you guys were right by me. I never felt like left at sea, overwhelmed. It was really great to be able to call you up on the phone and talk through something, or, which we can go in these possible directions, which one should we go in? So I never felt alone.
Well, and I think, again, we know we have a gem of a library, and we have a gem of a staff, and anybody who's worked, in their work life and done these kinds of things and getting people on board and then following through with things. This is really just such a credit to you and the staff. So thank you very much. So on that note, shall we take a vote? Trustee Macy Phelps.
Aye.
Trustee Fitzgerald.
Aye.
Trustee Persons.
Aye.
Trustee Donahue.
Aye.
And Trustee Ryan.
Aye.
And the chair votes aye. So we unanimously accept the strategic plan for the years 2023 to 2025. Yay.
Thank you. Paul, with your suggestion as well, I had reached out to Chris Coleman about, well, I said he has seen this plan and was excited to share it with the select board. And I said, well, can we come to a meeting? He's like, I think that's a great idea. So Maureen and I will try to
Great.
attend one of the summer meetings to not only send it to them, but be able to kind of show them and get,
Walk
you
through
know,
it. Yep.
answer their questions. And so they seem very excited, especially how it folds in with the Westwood Comprehensive Plan that, you know, they
Yes.
did. And there's a lot of that. It complements a lot of things happening in Westwood. So
Okay, that's great.
Question / suggestion, you know, I think I think this plan deserves to be presented and made public, and I hope there'll be some sort of
Yes.
public communication and so on. And, you know, another suggestion would be to keep an eye out for potential awards that there might be in library land and in strategic planning land. Because this, you know, this feels like a winner, looks like a winner. And why not?
that's a great idea.
Mm.
Thank you.
Particularly
I
for the
have,
times that we're in, I think it's significant.
Yeah.
Nancy?
I just have another thought.
Yeah.
And that is, I think the school committee would be very interested in reviewing this plan because it's very close to the learning objectives. And so that would be my thought, is to involve the school committee in a review of it.
Yeah.
Thanks, Nancy. Yeah, that's perfect because we do include the schools as one of our partners. We had met with Emily and Allison in May and had a great conversation. And we're going to probably have a follow-up meeting in July when they have a little bit of a break to add, you know, a formal, you know, plan that have how we would complement each other. So that makes sense to get the school board, get it in front of them as well.
Thank you, Nancy. Okay, anything else on that? So next we have new business. Does anyone have any new business?
I finally got the potential schedule for the trustees meetings together. I apologize for my lateness. So I wasn't sure if there was any discussion or put that in at this point or not under new business.
Have we?
Yeah.
Sure.
I mean, and you know, we could wait until the fall or we could take care of it tonight unless anyone hasn't had a chance to see if those dates are okay.
I think we stuck to the same second Monday. I think the only one is that the first one I had put that you meet at Wentworth Hall at the first one, just to start that year in person, if that's.
At the branch?
Yeah, because
Yes.
normally I think it's usually the second, but I just figured since
So
you
we-
haven't been able to meet yet in there.
Well, that would be
Definitely.
the September meeting.
September 12th.
The 12th.
I move
Okay.
to approve the schedule.
Yes, a second, please.
I second.
Second,
Trustee Ryan? Thank you. Okay, we'll take a vote. Trustee Persons?
Aye.
Trustee Macy Phelps?
Aye.
Trustee Donahue?
aye.
Trustee Ryan?
Aye.
Trustee Fitzgerald?
Aye.
And the chair votes aye. So that's great. Took care of that bit of business.
Can I ask one question?
yes.
So we won't know the status of those meetings, whether they're remote or in person until after July, is that right? Or we?
Yeah,
Yeah.
as it stands, and I'm sure there are people who know more about this, but as it stands, it's supposed to resume in person in July, is that right?
13th? Yeah, I think it's
I
still
think
July
so.
13th. I was talking
Yeah.
to Tish the other day and she says there's still something in the works to see if they'll push it out, but nothing is set
Yeah.
in stone. So like the select board, July 11th meeting is virtual, but the 2 August ones are listed as in person as of now.
Yeah,
So we
so,
can update that if it changes, I assume.
right. So we'll just have to keep an eye on that and update everyone for the next scheduled meeting. Okay. Lizzie?
I do have another bit of new business. I just want to kind of get it into your minds now for the summer. But you know, Trisha London has been working tirelessly on the Philbrick collection, getting, you know, it up on the walls and doing all this research. And we had talked about having a presentation and having it in the gallery and bringing in a speaker. And she was able to connect with the Philbrick's son, and he lives in the South, and he was so excited that the library was displaying everything and had, you know, they talked for like an hour, and he wants to come up he's like, oh, I have this great presenter on, you know, my parents' work. So he gave us a great, you know, person to have as a program. And then he did mention that that they're downsizing, and he has a lot more artwork that he wants to donate specifically as a fundraising to potentially sell. Because I think initially, you know, our wall space is pretty maxed out based on the Philbrick prints we have. But he was even saying, I guess in the past, they had donated to the Historical Society, and maybe it was one of the Westwood original art. I don't know if it's the Westwood artist that we have now, but anyways, as you know, this just came to me today. I was saying, you know, I'd bring it to the board, of course, just to start percolating. I don't know if this is something that the 21st Century Fund would be interested in taking up as a silent auction of pieces, whether it would coordinate with, like, we do have a presenter in the fall. We do a program that highlights this collection, and then there's an opportunity for purchasing these. His intent was to donate them we could fundraise for the library. So I can have more concrete details. I'm going to reach out to him, but I wanted to start thinking if that was something that the 21st Century Fund might be interested in or not. Just so while I had you.
Great, thank you.
I would encourage it.
Great.
Did you say you would not, or you would?
I would. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I would say let's learn, can we learn more?
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. I'm going to reach out to him. I wanted to catch everyone, but while you're sitting by the beach, you can think about it if that's something.
That sounds great.
Okay.
Lizzie, is there anything else that you wanted to mention for the fall for changes?
We do have, during my medical leave, we do have a candidate in place. I've reached out to Joan from HR today to see if that contract has been signed. I've not touched base with her yet. So, but she has 20-30 years of library experience, has done the ARIS report and state aid, and knows many people actually on town administration from being in the library world, and Minuteman as well. So I am very relieved that this person, I think, was almost 99% on board, that will be able to keep the operations running in the library during my leave in the fall. And I think as we were going to plan it for now until it's signed, that we would maybe have one in August, or be able to meet, we'll figure out a way to introduce further introductions. I was hoping there'd be introductions by June, but that did not pan out. So I've been talking to Maureen about this for the last month or so. So
we can, do an introductory email and then, go on from there once things are completely settled.
yes.
All right. And,
More
even
to
if,
follow.
yes, more to follow on that, but an update. Thank you, Lizzie. Okay. Does anyone else have anything that they would like to mention or talk about tonight? No. Mary.
Yeah, quick question for the minutes on this candidate. Would this be is this substitute director,
interim? I think it would be interim library director, and it's part-time based, so it would be more of 3 days a week to be able to just make sure that payroll signed and that there's a presence, and to run, be in contact with the trustees at that level.
Okay.
If it's okay to ask, Lizzie, is this potentially our last meeting with you before this leave? Knowing that these things are
Well, let's just say if it's September 13th and I'm still meeting with you guys in person, you might be taking me to the hospital. Or if anyone has delivered a baby before. But yes, potentially, unless we do, unless the chair calls one, if that's the way it goes, to introduce the interim director. Yes, this will be my little break.
So if this, is the last time we meet, certainly, wish you the best. And we will look forward to, you clearly the planning process has shown you've got a great staff. Be that as it may, we will certainly look forward to hearing your news and having you back as well.
Me too. Thank you.
But do enjoy that time off.
Thank you.
Yes.
Not off.
Best of luck.
Shifting gears.
Yes, a different adventure.
Yeah.
So, okay.
Hmm.
Will we like to give an opportunity for public participation? Do we have any public
No, I do
participating,
not see
Lizzie,
any
tonight?
attendees tonight.
We do not have any additional attendees. Okay, well,
I
given
will
that, we have a
Adjourn?
motion to adjourn. Trustee Fitzgerald, is there a second? Trustee Ryan? And it being 7:27, we'll have to take a vote. Trustee Persons,
Hi.
Trustee Donahue,
Aye.
Trustee Ryan,
Aye.
Trustee Fitzgerald,
Aye.
Trustee Macy Phelps,
Aye.
and the chair votes aye. And I thank you all for attending this additional meeting and for all your input, and hope that everyone enjoys the summer. Unless we have other things come up that we need to do, we'll let you know. So
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
happy
Thank
4th
you.
of July.
Thank
Wonderful
you.
summer, everyone.